Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.
Boom. Let's talk about it. Good morning. Today is Thankful Thursday. So let me get right to the point, right? So this morning, I had to drop my daughter off at the airport. And I told her, I said, listen, we're leaving at 2 a.m. Now, my schedule, I always hit the gym by 5, right? So I said, hey, we're going at 2 a.m. Don't let me have to wake you up. 2 a.m, we walking out. So she's ready, whatever. So as we're about to go to the airport, I put the GPS in. Now I have been to this airport hundreds of times. I know the way like the back of my hand, right? But I just have a habit of always putting in the GPS, right? For things that I might not see. So get there to the airport, drop her off, whatever. Now on the way back, I'm driving, and in my mind, I'm saying, okay, I gotta be at home by 2:51. That way I can lay down for a little bit. I can be up by 4:25, right? I got all of these plans in my head. So as I'm driving, I'm looking at the GPS, and I look and I'm like, what in the world? I see something on there that says it's going to be a detour up ahead. And I'm like, I just drove past here. There was no detour. So as I'm coming, I see the guy in the middle of the road. He's, telling everybody to go this way. Now, for a moment, I got mad at that guy. All that guy is doing is his job. But I got mad at him because he detoured me. And as I, went around or whatever, and I get back on course, whatever, it took me off track a little bit. But I ended up getting to the gym at the same time, had a great workout. And I say all of that to say this. A detour is merely a safe passage to get you to where you need to be. In a lot of our lives, we have lived through so many detours. And my Thankful Thursday is I thank God for the detours in my life. My 20s, my 30s were so many different detours, right? And those detours was simply because if I was going in the direction that I wanted to go, I might not be here today. And if I, was here today, I might not be in the right state of mind. A detour is merely a safe passage to get you to where you're going. See, sometimes a detour is because you don't know what's further up the road. So now you're upset with the guy that's saying slow, stop, and you like, man, he didn't let 10 cars go, blah, 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 this, that, and that. But what you don't understand is if you keep on that path, there's a pothole, right? and had he not been there and you hit that pothole and now your rims is all busted up and now you talking about, man, they need to fix these roads and this, that, and the other. It was a detour. It was a detour to make sure that you were going where you were going safely. That's why it is so hard and you'll mess around and cause yourself so much stress trying to help other people sometime. Because you could be dealing with someone and you can be telling them, hey, listen, I love you. I'm only telling you this because I don't want to see you hurt. You don't need to go down this path. You need to go this way. Because if you go down this path, I've been down there before. I know where that leads you. You're going to get down there and you're going to mess around and find yourself in a situation that is hard to get out from. But then that person is looking at, you the same way we look at that man that's out there that says slow, this, that, and other. We get annoyed with the person that's trying to steer you in the right direction. Because in my 20s and 30s, I tried to take every shortcut that there was available. And sometimes the shortcut seems like it worked, but all it did was delayed where I was going. A shortcut ain't always good. A shortcut is not always good. That's why everybody runs to the shortcut because they feel like, okay, you know what, I can just get there. That's why they say overnight celebrity. There's no such thing as an overnight celebrity. It might look like it's overnight to you, but you ain't seen that grind. But some people live their life like that. The shortcut. That's why you think tax time, you got all of these tax preppers popping up everywhere. And here you go like, you know what? I know such and such do taxes, and they told my friend that they got them $5,000 back, and so I'm going to do it that way. Now, you don't know nothing about with them, but you want to do the shortcut because doing it the right way, it might take longer. Doing it the right way, you might not get as much back, but it's the right way. Now you done went to this one. Next tax time, they didn't use all your tax information, already filed taxes, and here you are like, what? That's why tax time, so many people get cars every year, tax time. You know why? Because they're getting something right then. They get this money and they get that car right then, and all they had to do was wait. That's all they had to do was wait. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time. Where I'm at in my life right now, you know, had I not embraced the detours when I did, I wouldn't be right here right now in my mind and professionally. I saw so many people doing things that I thought was the way to go because it was working for them. But that's their own race. That's why when I ran the marathon, right? When I ran the marathon and I got out there and, you know, probably about mile 8, I was just like, what the heck am I doing? But it was a sense that came over me was like, it's not the fastest. Run your pace. Run your pace. You're going to get to the finish line. You might not be the top. You might not be in the middle. For me, I came across that, man, I think they was packing up going home. But the mere fact that I did it, when I started the race, I was looking at everybody. Oh, yeah, I'm beating them. I'm beating them. At the end of that race, I was shirtless. My feet was bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Half the people that I passed, they had already finished. But I ran my own race. There was a time when we were on the 5, and this was in San Diego, and we on the 5 on the freeway. We're running. And I had gotten to the point to where my mind was telling me, you know what, just stop. Go ahead and turn around and go back. But I was on the middle of the highway and there was no way to turn. I had to keep going. I had to keep going. Now, the thing is, I probably would have did a lot better if I trained, but I didn't train. I used a shortcut. I said, I'm in shape. I'm good. So I say all of that to say this. Embrace the detours. Embrace the detours. If you got everything that you wanted right now, you might be dead. That's why I always talk about the lottery. There's so many people talking about, man, if I won this $1 million, man, you cannot handle what you have right now. You can't. There's some people saying that they want a promotion, but they late every day to work. Now you think that by you getting this promotion, you just going to wake up out the bed and now you're going to be at work. No, that takes time. That's habit forming. You have to get yourself together. I'm a firm believer in where you're going, look the part. Look the part. You need to get yourself together as if you are already where you're trying to be. That way, when all the chips fall, you're ready. Working out. Everybody starts at the beginning of the year. I'm going to work out. This is my last cheat meal, this, that, and the other. No, you have to look the part. I tell everybody, go get you some new workout clothes. It ain't got to be expensive, but just go get you some new workout clothes so you can look the part. You're preparing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's all it takes. So anyways, man, I'm not going to be here long. You know, just my thankful Thursday is I thank God for these detours that I've had in my life. It might have took me longer to get here, but that detour was the safest route. There's no shortcuts. And if you right now are taking a shortcut, that's why you are where you are. See, had I would have went around that detour and said, man, I just passed that. Everything all right. And then boom, hit a pothole. I'm going to be mad at everybody else but myself because I didn't listen. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a beautiful Thursday.